Hello there, YouTube. It's me again. Just wanted to talk about this whole Nigel Farage thing that people seem to talk about a lot. They seem to think that with everything that's gone on lately, that they want to label him as a racist and a friend of Putin and all that absolute rubbish. Well, I can tell you now, for 100% of a fact, that it's all just bollocks. It really is just rubbish. I don't know why all these lefty snowflakes like to do all this, really. I mean, if it was the other way around, they'd be throwing their toys out the pram quite a bit, I would think. But that is unfortunately what you get from lefty woke snowflakes, really. At the end of the day, I voted for reform, and the reason me, my partner, and majority of my family voted reform is because we want our country back. We just want things to be back how they were. British jobs for British workers. We've got to stop housing the whole planet on our doorstep. We haven't got room for them. We've got people here on every benefit going that could work. They could do a job. We don't need to give in and give our jobs to random boat people that are coming over that are unchecked, who have absolutely no idea of British values. In fact, they loathe British values. They don't care about this country. The only thing they care about this country is when they come over and get a bit of that, a bit of money, passport, and they're all sorted then. And then they just, go into the towns and the cities, and you never see them again. You don't know who they are, totally unchecked. It could be some bad apples there. Something terrible could happen, but no one seems to care in the mainstream, do they? They just seem to think that anyone who raises concerns about immigration is a racist and all of that. Well, it's a legitimate concern, especially if you've got kids. At the end of the day, you want your kids growing up in a world where they're too frightened or ashamed to be who they are because they're worried that one of these migrants is going to come along and do something. We don't know anything about people that come over here unchecked. It's as plain speaking as that, really. So I've obviously voted reform, as I've said, and I really like Farage. He's a very decent bloke. He comes across as very normal. He's very outgoing. And again, you get people at the moment and say, oh, well, he used to be a trader or a banker and he used to make loads of money and all that, and he's got millions, and and it's like, well, no one cares about that. They just care about what he's saying and what he's going to do. He's won the seat for Clacton, which is fantastic. I'd be very envious. I wish I could run in Parliament and get a seat, because it's nice to have someone who's actually proud of this country as a local constituent for Clacton, really. I think they're going to be very lucky to have him, really. It's a shame Reform didn't win more, although overall they did, because of the way the voting system is in this country, which of course Labour are not going to change, are they? Because they like it that way, where it's done like that. I think it's called first past the post, isn't it? Yeah. It's not always the best one, that, is it, really? So now we've got this shit Labour government in, so things are just going to get worse. I mean, if you think that boats are going to stop, they really aren't going to stop, and taxes are just going to go through the roof. I mean, if you think Tories are bad, I think Labour are going to be even worse, really. They're certainly not going to be better. So I'm just urging people not to, from now until 2029, not to give up on reform and not to give up on Farage, because we will get there. We've just got to keep trying, and we've got a bit of time to go over things until then, so we've got time to sort of polish up our act, as it were, and figure out what we can do. I'm also signed up as a member for Reform UK, looking into local constituencies that haven't got anyone which I could represent, which would probably be a positive move for my career, especially as I feel so passionately about this country. We are a good country. A lot of good things have come out of this country for thousands of years, and to be honest, I just want to protect our heritage, really, for our kids and our grandkids. We've got an amazing opportunity here to preserve what we've got. We're very lucky to have what we've got, and we do not want to be giving all what we've got to the rest of the world. This is our thing. If we went to other countries and just put up churches or did other things, I think you'll probably find that they'd chop your hands off or something, because it's how it is. In other news, they've been putting up the Quran in the train stations, in London Victoria train station, a very British city, London, and they've been doing that, which isn't a surprise. But you dare talk about Jesus on the street corner and preach about God or something, you will get arrested. You'll be put in handcuffs. But we can just spread all this Muslim stuff all over the world, all over the country, and it's fine. It's fine. It is totally not fine, is it? Though, is it? Because at the end of the day, they shouldn't be doing it. It's absolute nonsense. We're not racist people. Everyone who's come here legally and has got a job is fine. If you're coming here on a small boat illegally and you come to sponge off the system, that's where things start to piss off a lot of the public, really. And I genuinely think a lot of people voted for Labour just to get back at the Tories. But what they should have done is voted for reform, which, as you know, a vote for reform for Farage is probably the best vote you can give, really, especially if you want to be proud of your country and what you've got, and what has gone before you, and you want to continue our traditions, and you don't want our country erased off the map. We've got a strong heritage, and I think Farage is spot on. He's not at all a racist. I don't know anyone why they like to label him with that. And this whole actor thing where blokes that were filmed by Channel 4 undercover saying all this racist stuff to people, with the old reform stickers on, you can't tell me that wasn't a stitch up. That was done on purpose before the election, and I really do wish the best of luck to Farage. I really do hope he sues Channel 4 for that, because that was a dirty trick. Actors, it shouldn't come as a surprise, really, should it, in this day and age, that people would do that? Because if at the end of the day, if you was canvassing for reform like I was, you don't knock on someone's door and then talk about shooting a load of migrants. It is absolute rubbish, especially if you're the face of reform in your local area. Would you really go out and say those sorts of things? You wouldn't. It is quite clearly an actor that they secretly filmed. They didn't know nothing about. Load of old bollocks, if you ask me, mate. For me, I work hard, I pay my taxes, I want a life for my kids. I don't want them to live in a country that they don't recognise, a country that they're scared of. We need to look after our own people, and it's not racist. I challenge anyone who would say that's racist, to be honest, because it is complete rubbish. If you've come here legally and you've got a job and you're doing something, like in the wonderful NHS, you're doing something in that's fine. Good, best of luck to you. But we can't have thousands and thousands of boats coming over completely unchecked of migrant men, young men, without their women and children, coming over here, just rocking up at the shore, walking into wherever the hell they come here, and just blending into society and claiming benefits, getting a free phone, money, 5-star hotel, cooked breakfast. I mean, Christ, I get a soggy Weetabix in the morning, I have to cycle to work in the pissing rain, paying my taxes to look after them. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, on that rant, I just wanted to say best of luck for Farage, and we totally are going to support you all the way.